Thank you all so much for having me here tonight. I really appreciate it, and it's so wonderful to be back with Go tonight. I am excited, very excited to talk with you all about budgets tonight because this is one of my favorite topics. And so first, I want to do a quick, who am I? I was director of policy and data at Go for the last 7 years or so, and just kind of left my post in April to go spend more time with this little dude on your right-hand side. That is my son, Ezra. He's getting on 2 years old now. And while I loved working at Go for many, many years, I also was not getting enough time to kind of see him start to grow up. And so that's the most recent shift in my life. But like Natalie said, I am still doing a little bit of this work here and there with a variety of different orgs, Go included. And I am excited to talk through some of my experience, like on the advocacy side of policy and budgets tonight. As it says here, worked on local issues, including in West Contra Costa, a lot of OUSD stuff. I'm an Oakland resident. I was on our Oakland team for a long time. Also worked on a lot of state level budget issues. Also a former OUSD math teacher, so the math is right. Like I said, really excited to be here talking with y'all about this tonight. I'll also just state for the record that I am very much a generalist when it comes to this, right? Like Natalie asked me to do the 101 for a reason, which is that I've got good broad knowledge on a variety of different fronts. That said, looking at the folks on this call, I suspect there are people who could go into more depth on a variety of these topics than I could. And so we're going to have, more speakers over the course of this group. And so over the course of tonight, we're going to collect questions. Some of those I may be able to answer off the bat. Some of those I might not be able to, and we might need to kind of save those for other audiences. And so we'll get into this kind of throughout the presentation. But one way that we're gonna collect these notes is on a Jamboard. So I will, over the course of this call, be sharing out this link, but it's bit.ly/jamwcc. And if you go over there, you'll see and I'll demo this the first time we do a Jamboard, but if you're familiar with them, you can go ahead and pull it up right now. It'll be a space for us to just kind of share notes and share questions as well. So we've divided tonight into 4 different sections. We're gonna take a break after each section and do that. I know we're a small group tonight. We'll see if more people join. And so I also know it's going to be helpful for the team to kind of capture some of these notes in written format. So I think even if we continue to be a small team, we're still probably going to go to a Jamboard, and then we'll try to bring it back pretty quickly for some kind of for some discussion here as we're going on. So I want to start with just why budgets matter. This is, as you are thinking about kind of advocacy opportunities as someone outside of a school district, understanding a school district's budget is absolutely critical to giving us insight into 3 different things. The first is a district strategy. Where you spend your money is really where your focus is. And so if you're an organization the size of districts like this, right? And so the more we can understand a district's budget, the more we can gain insight into what a district is prioritizing, into where a district is trying to make change. Right. The second piece is around equity. By understanding the sorts of students that the districts support with their dollars, we can understand how much a district is kind of prioritizing equity in their work. And finally, sustainability. It's really important that our districts are in it for the long term, that they're going to be able to operate under the strain of some factors that I'm going to discuss later. But understanding a district's budget is going to help us understand, is the district going to be able to kind of keep up its current rate of spending in the long term? And thus, is it going to be able to support students in the long term as current rates? Or are we going to get into a situation where we need to make drastic cuts that obviously have devastating effects on our schools, our educators, our students throughout the line? So as I'm thinking about budgets, these are kind of the 3 big picture things that are on my mind. I'm also going to use this framework throughout tonight to kind of talk through the different components of tonight's presentation. And this is just at the highest level, how money gets to schools. I think it's really important to just step back and understand for a minute, like, how does a dollar that a school gets to spend actually get to that school? And so at the highest, most basic level, and it is far more complex than this, and we'll get into some of this complexity, but state and local taxes are collected by the state. Those get distributed down to school districts, which in turn make decisions about how individual schools are going to get the money. I know some of the people on this call have much more substantial understanding that it is more complex than that. There are federal sources of money that come in. Different funding sources are restricted for different things. We're going to talk about some level of that, but I think at just the very highest level, the state collects money, the state distributes it down to school districts, the school district distributes it down to individual schools. The different components of what we talk about tonight are going to hit on some of those different pieces, either state and local taxes or school districts or individual schools, or we're going to hit on some of the connections between. So we're going to talk about how school districts decide how they're going to distribute money to individual schools, things like that.